beautiful, warm spring evening in the Sun City, befitting of a football club and the strong run of form we've seen from El Paso Locomotive FC. Tonight, Los Locos back at home looking to remain undefeated in the season inside the friendly confines of Southwest University Park. Thanks for joining us here at Southwest University Park. I'm Duke Keith under the Friday night lights for the first time this season as we take a look at Locomotive FC on that strong run of form, taking on a team, though, in Indy 11 that's beaten them 2 straight seasons. Indy 11 with only one win, but this is a very experienced side. We'll touch on that as we go further. Last we saw Los Locos, though, that was probably their most dominating performance of the season, a 3-0 win over arch rivals New Mexico United. As we take a look at Locomotive over the last couple of weeks since then, just one loss since April 13th across all competitions, in 5th place in the Western Conference with 13 points. Last week, following up that 3-0 win over United with 2 strong performances. First in the 4th round of the Open Cup, May 7th, Locomotive playing Major League Soccer side Austin FC in Austin, very tough, leading 2-0 until the 73rd minute before falling 3-2. Then last Saturday, El Paso earned a 1-1 draw on the road at Tulsa. Andy Cabrera scored his 4th goal in the last 2 USL matches. Head coach Wilmer Cabrera has been very pleased with his side's form and does not want to see a letdown.
We set the bar really high in terms of performance, in terms of playing. So because of that, I'm not going to allow them to drop the level. We have to push ourselves to continue playing well.
Obviously, Los Locos wanted to win their first ever match versus an MLS side and keep playing in the Open Cup, but the silver lining is now they won't have any midweek matches for at least 3 months and can devote all of their attention and energy to the USL Championship campaign. And playing 1 match a week will only help a Locos bunch that is so far healthy, deep, and scoring goals as well as any team in the championship. El Paso, 27 goals across all competitions this year. Got the first hat trick in club history 2 weeks ago versus United from leading scorer Andy Cabrera. 9 goals across all competitions, tied for the league lead with 7 in the championship. El Paso's also scored 19 first-half goals and 5 in the first 15 minutes this year. El Paso's with at least, and Noah Dolenmeyer named the USL Team of the Week for his play last Saturday versus Tulsa. Indy 11, meanwhile, enters tonight in 7th place in the East and winless in the championship since March 15th. However, they do have a U.S. Open Cup win over the Miami FC and a Jägermeister Cup victory over Forward Madison during that time. They also took MLS side Philadelphia Union to penalties on May 7th in the Open Cup and got a point versus Sacramento last Saturday. So there have been signs for an Indy 11 side that is 3 points. The 3 points could be coming soon in league play. Indy's attack led by Elvis Amo and Aiden Quinn. Overall, a very experienced club, a bevy of players with a lot of USL service time. Head coach Sean McCauley helped Portland Timbers win the 2015 MLS title and has been around the game at a high level for many, many years. They're hoping to get back on track in the Sun City. So, does El Paso's strong run of form continue? Or does Indy 11 get its first win in over 2 months in the championship? It is by USL.
Southwest Auto Glass has been the Borderlands leader in glass repair since 1992. Reliable and proven service with a team of experts who give you the best value in the auto glass industry. When it's time to get your vehicle back on the road, trust Southwest Auto Glass. And if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. Southwest Auto Glass, your glass installation experts. Call us today or find us online at southwestautoglass.com.
I'm a 25-year truck driver. I've been driving for Rivas Enterprises for 6. I have 1 million miles. I'm home every weekend. The benefits and the respect that you get in this company is outstanding. If you're looking for a place to call home, call Rivas Enterprises.
He trabajado en otras compañías, pero desde que estoy trabajando para Rivas Enterprises siento que es la mejor compañía del Paso, Texas. El ambiente de trabajo, el compañerismo, los beneficios. Es un trabajo muy bonito aquí en Rivas Enterprises.
On Saturday, May 17th, Paso Speedway Park salutes the brave men and women of the armed forces with Military Appreciation Night. All military personnel get in for just $5 with an ID as A-Mods, 360 non-wing sprints, pure stocks, legends, and stock cars put on a show for the ages. Gates open at 5 p.m. and the racing starts at 7:30 p.m. Join us in honoring our heroes. Tickets available at VadoSpeedwayPark.com.
Welcome to Southwest Southwest University Park, Locomotive FC, Indy 11 FC. Locomotive is red hot as we take a look at that starting lineup, and there is the three-headed monster up top, Amando Moreno, who leads the team with 3 assists this season. Cabrera with the 7 goals, as we pointed out in pregame, and Beto Avila, who had himself a pretty solid U.S. Open Cup in his hometown of Austin, Texas. Gabi Torres, Frank DeRoma. We'll be speaking about them as we continue that Locomotive attack, red hot. Indy 11, not. But this is a team with lots and lots of experience as we see Aiden Quinn, Murphy, O'Brien, Jack Blake. Lots of very familiar names a part of this lineup as we get ready to get things going and underway at Southwest University Park. Locomotive FC looking to continue that red-hot home form versus a team that is looking for its first win since March. Indy 11 in 8th position, which would get them into the playoffs in the Eastern Conference right now, but obviously head coach Sean McCauley looking for wins. Early foul, and Sulte will get it restarted. Wahab Akwe, his first touches of the game. And a quick foul giving Locomotive the restart. This Locomotive team currently 5th in the Western Conference. As we take a look at our referees tonight, Greg Dopke is our lead official. The referee on the pitch, assistant referees Fernando Fierro, Benjamin Davis, and our 4th official, Cuauhtemoc Delgadillo. Locomotive among the league leaders in distribution, currently sitting 6th in terms of number of passes, and tied for 4th in passing accuracy with 82%. The offside flag is up. So Locomotive tried to make a move, and Beto Avila none the worse for wear after tangling a bit. Keys to the game, strike early again. Locomotive scored first in each of its last 5 matches, 3 wins, 2 draws, and just a loss to an MLS side that at the time in the U.S. Open Cup really had to bring in its top players to make it happen versus Locomotive. Score early, make Indy 11 feel the pressure. Staying unselfish, Locomotive has been prolific on the attack this year. Big part of that, their team unselfishness. They've got 12 assists in USL Championship matches. That's second in the league, most in the Western Conference. And holding the line, Locomotive's defense has done a much better job as of late. Clean sheets in 2 of the last 4 matches, including Jamali Waite's first in league play 2 weeks ago versus United. New Mexico United, they want that trend to continue tonight against an Indy 11 side that, as we see Jamali Waite keep things moving, distributing to Frank DeRoma quickly. Certainly has a lot of experience. Amando Moreno getting tangled. Good job defensively, James Murphy. And quick foul by Eric Calvillo for the restart by Indy 11. James Musa. More than one former Colorado Switchbacks FC player on this roster. And there's Aiden Stanley getting in there. Stanley played in by Aiden Quinn. Stanley from the byline straight to Akwe. The Locomotive likes to work it up the wings, but Indy 11 showing that they can apply some pressure. This is a big physical team, but again, only the one win in the middle of March at the start of the season. 7 points, that's 8th in the Eastern Conference. Locomotive 3-2-4, 13 points. But as we pointed out in the pregame, very happy to be done with 3 in 3 weeks, although he would certainly love to be able to continue their U.S. Open Cup run. Looking pretty good against an Austin FC side that did start a few of its backups, although Brian Vasquez Their $10 million signing proved to be a real difference once they brought in Owen Wolf to help him make plays. Good work up the left wing side. Good cross. Nobody in blue on the other side of it. It'll be an Indy 11 throw. But Coach Wilmer Cabrera very, very happy with his side's form and ecstatic when his team obviously was up 2-0 on the road versus an MLS side. And, of course, that state-of-the-art, beautiful soccer-specific stadium in Austin, Texas. Lots of Verde. Fans did show up for that match, a midweek game. Good turn here by Malik Foster. Another former Switchbacks player, and he is loose. In behind the defense, Jack Blake trailing. Trying to get it to Amo, top of the box, but it's nailed out. Good cover by Palermo Ortiz. As you would expect from the one-time member of El Tri. Did make an appearance for the Mexican national team. There's the cross for no one. It will be a Locomotive throw deep from their own territory. Very telling to hear Wilmer Cabrera at the press conference this last Tuesday talking about how much pressure. He felt like he was sweating 2 pounds off every single match. He did not want to be on the touchline to coach his team, but, obviously you do what you have to do. He is the head coach, and much, much better. They've made so much progress this season, and, of course, a team that scores goals. Among the league leaders in the USL Championship. Tied third in the league with 6, which has had a torrid start to this 2025 season off in the Eastern Conference. That one bounces away. That's a solid recovery, at least an attempt by Moreno. And the 11 trying to play that up into the middle. Stanley taken away by DeRoma. It will bounce all the way back to Jamali Waite. And there we see Sean McCauley, the Englishman, has been a part of the U.S. soccer scene for quite some time, as we pointed out. Former Portland Timbers assistant. Minnesota United, spent some time as their interim head coach. Manchester United player, formerly. Good work here by Locomotive, and the try will sail over the bar. Early shot for Beto Avila. First real challenge I think either team has been able to put on the other, but well over the bar. Avila trying to yank that one. Avila in his hometown did so well. Gave Locomotive a 2-0 lead, both goals to the Austin native in the U.S. Open Cup fourth round loss, eventually to Austin FC. But I can tell you the watch party at the Sagi Paso was quite something to be a part of there for a while, as there we see Wilmer Cabrera, who has spent a lot of time himself as a part of the U.S. soccer scene, the former Colombian national teamer. Played on the wing. Scored 3 goals for his country in his time as a player in the 80s and 90s. Decided to come to the United States and not coach soccer, fly helicopters. An accomplished helicopter pilot. Spent some time in New York City doing that before the game called him back. Notably the head coach of Chivas USA in their final season of MLS soccer. That's good distribution. Off to the left, it's Quinn. Crosses over. Offside flag is up. Pass up the middle by James Murphy. And Quinn a step ahead of that Locomotive back line. Smiles from an assistant referee. We don't usually see that. Entering the 11th minute here in El Paso, Texas. Locomotive has scored 5 goals in the opening 15. Indy 11, though, minding its P's and Q's so far. Rolled out by Hogan for a Locomotive throw. Beautiful signboards they have now at Southwest University Park, a new addition this year. Every season, something new and different. Here's the throw-in. Gabi Torres, the Brazilian. Frank DeRoma doing Frank DeRoma things. Torres, the long cross. That's a glancing header. Moreno got ahead to it. But not enough. And a goal kick coming for Hunter Sulte. Nine USL matches in all competitions. 9 goals for that young man. Wilmer Cabrera. No one has had that form in Locomotive history. Not Jerome Kiesewetter. Not Lucho Solignac. Andy Cabrera healthy this season. Malik Foster trying to get it to go. Good triple team on Ricky Reese. Foster plays it back for Murphy. Up and over for Stanley. Back into the middle. And to Stanley. The switch with Aiden Quinn. Long over the middle looking for Elvis Amo. Overshot. But Indy 11 showing some danger. And along the wings. That one was touched, and it'll be a corner kick coming for Indy 11. First corner of the day. This is a team that can score first half goals. They've got 7, which is tied for 3rd in the USL Championship. This will be Aiden Quinn, looks to play short, which they do to Murphy. Crossing back to Blake, that was the one they wanted. Jack Blake can score from there, but Locomotive in transition. Moreno puts it in the far corner. Locomotive, their 6th goal in the opening 15 minutes of the match this season. And Armando Moreno makes Indy 11 pay against the run of play. Beautiful shot. Moreno's 4th of the season. Second only to Wilmer Cabrera. And the El Salvador International gives Locomotive the lead in the 13th minute. Over the top, the quick out to Armando Moreno, who is all smiles. Lung-busting run. Armando Moreno. Came to El Paso from New Mexico United last season, scoring 6 goals a season ago. That topped the scoring list for Locomotive, already halfway to that goal. Now more than halfway. Leads the team in assists with 3 this season. Chances created with 13. The system has done very well, and here's Locomotive again up the right wing. Ricky Ruiz, rather Cabrera gets there before it's put out. Rolled into touch by Musa. Let's crunch the numbers with Beasley Mitchell and Company. 9, a very fine number for Locomotive's Andy Cabrera. His 9 goals across all competitions. Tops on the team. The 7 he scored in the championship play. That is tying him for the Golden Boot. Lead recorded the first hat trick in club history. Not Jerome Kiesewetter, not Lucho Solignac. Andy Cabrera gets the first hat trick, of course, 2 weeks ago versus New Mexico United. And again, those 9 goals are the most in Locomotive history through 9 matches. Here is Jeroma, Locomotive with possession. Moreno, chased by Josh O'Brien. Good work by O'Brien to just stay in front. Akwe, the switch to Ortiz. Memo Diaz, and back to the Jamaican international, Jamali Waite. Lead. As we pointed out earlier, though, the trick for Locomotive hasn't been scoring goals this season. It's been preventing them, but it has gotten better as the season has progressed. Talking with the Locomotive coaching staff and players, just trying not to switch off in games, in key moments. Locomotive conceding late on the road versus Tulsa, but the tail end of 3 matches in a week, players were just hanging on by their fingernails. 1 goal or less in 4 championship matches this season for Locomotive, and it is improving. Here's Akwe, who's been a key part of that. Coming over notably in that trade from Colorado Springs for Justin Dillon. Dillon just never really fit here in El Paso for whatever reason, but obviously produced in San Antonio and is producing again for Colorado Springs. Well, certainly Locomotive happy to have an athletic central defender in Akwe. The Ghanaian. Good work by Indy 11. Out along the left side. Stanley. And that's lost. It'll be a Locomotive throw. Akwe, formerly of Red Bulls 2, Richmond Kickers, Loudoun United, and of course RGV, where he played for Wilmer Cabrera. There's Blake. Notably, well, no foul there. Indy, though, actually they'll let it run. Playing advantage. Indy 11 maintains possession. Here's Foster. Drops it back from Usa. To the middle and Murphy. Trying to get it to Blake. Jack Blake looking for the volley, but well seen by Ortiz. Get some help from Akwe to clear it out. Jack Blake, notably, won a championship with Real Monarchs, come from behind fashion over Louisville City in 2019. And, of course, part of that Real Monarchs side that put Locomotive out of the playoffs in the Western Conference Final. Longtime member of San Diego Loyal. Here's Blake. Sees the opportunity here. Blake runs over Ortiz, who does well to get himself positioned. That'll be a charge in basketball. We play on in soccer. Veterans. As Ortiz takes one for the team. That's a great look at it. Indy 11 still has a player down on the pitch as we stop play here in the 20th minute. And Greg Dobka making a call. Actually looks like he's waving off. Help from the touchline. Josh Frankham and Mira Kyle the trainers for Indy 11. Notably a part of Sean McCauley's staff, the man who started under former head coach, Locomotive head coach, Mark Lowry, right here in El Paso, Gabriel Zapponi. Still a part of that Indy 11 coaching lineup. Zapponi starting as a strength and conditioning coach for Locomotive, which he was for Lowry, but has taken on additional duties as an assistant coach in Indianapolis. It's a long switch over the top. Ortiz. It's it to Avila, and now to the left side. Torres. Blake does well to chase him away. All the way around to Memo Diaz, who will take it back to Jamali Waite. Should be noted that Locomotive's next midweek match comes in August after their run through the U.S. Open Cup. Got them 4 opportunities, all midweek matches. Of course, that's a lot of soccer in the early going, and Locomotive can now concentrate on the championship. That is a foul. Ricky Ruiz, a little too hard on Foster. Malik Foster, a little slow to get up. Former member of Switchbacks FC. His first goal for Indy 11 came against Locomotive FC last year after coming over mid-season from Colorado Springs. Actually late in the season. 20 goals and 14 assists in 5 seasons in the championship. Again, you look at this Indy 11 lineup and you're thinking, how in the world does this team have just one win? There's Blake trying to play something up that right wing that Locomotive had sniffed out quite nicely. Moreno wondering where the help was coming from. That's the rebound, Amo. That's a foul. As he takes down Ortiz, who's done his job. Ortiz, the 32-year-old veteran, former FC Juarez Bravo. Wearing the captain's armband as he usually does. Certainly the most decorated player for Locomotive. And of course, as we pointed out, got a cap for his native Mexico with El Tri. That is well offside. Locomotive, as you might expect, dominating possession 66% to 33. But interestingly, actually it doesn't add up to 100, does it? 66 to 34 will round up. But of course, scoring its goal against the run of play. The 13th minute, lung-busting run by Amando Moreno gets him his 4th Locomotive goal. Into the middle, there's Quinn off to the left. Played back in by Stanley. Looking for Amo. The back heel, in tight. Crossing, but just ahead. Looking for Amo on the return. Aiden Stanley rolls it just wide. So well done by Malik Foster. Beautiful back heel. It should be 1-1. And maybe this might be the thing that's plaguing Sean McCauley's Indy 11. The game should be tied right now. but it remains 1-0 Locomotive. Elvisamo, notably, playing for Wilmer Cabrera at RGV, among a few other stops. We pointed out all those decorated veterans, Amo certainly among them. Coming to Indy 11 from Detroit City FC. A Ghanaian as well. Here's Stanley. Off to the left. They found some success. The long cross. All the way to the touchline. Josh O'Brien knocks it back into the middle. Well chested down. Murphy. Crossing again. Flying header by Calvillo. Gets it to DeRoma. And DeRoma's going to weave his way through traffic. Just liquid on the ball. You'll see him, he doesn't move forward a lot. That's going to be a foul in the middle of the pitch on Calvillo. Draws some boos from the crowd. Murphy a little shaken up, but none the worse for wear. As that back pass did not go anywhere near where Eric Calvillo wanted it to go. And under pressure, good work by James Murphy, might have gotten a piece of that, but Palermo on the spot again. Second corner of the night for Indy 11 in the 28th minute. As Indy 11, ascendant, trying to convert here. Little conversation between Greg Dopka and Frank DeRoma. There's Murphy. Long cross and off the head of Hogan, out for a goal kick. And as you see the blue wristbands, throughout the month of May, pro officials are once again supporting Huntington's Disease Society of America's drive to increase awareness of the fight against Huntington's disease. They'll be wearing blue wristbands throughout the month to honor former referee Terry Vaughn. That's going to be a yellow card issued to Blake here in the 29th minute, right at the edge of the 29th. It's a hard takedown of Andy Cabrera. That's a better angle coming in from the side. That one straight ahead just looked like it was a 50-50 ball. Cabrera had every right to go for the ball, and Blake sweeping in from the left. Gets a piece of that, and the Englishman goes into the book. As we were pointing out, though, you saw the referee's blue armbands in honor of Terry Vaughn, a former MLS, NWSL, USL, and MLS Next Pro match official. Terry passed in May of 2023, but his legacy and memory lives on through those who had the privilege to know him and work with him on the pitch. You can join the conversation on social media. Use the hashtag Let's Talk About HD. That's a hand up high, and it's going to be a foul. Free kick for Locomotive. As Pat Hogan gets a word from the referee. Beto Avila takes the high hand. That is very much what did the five fingers say to the face. So, Locomotive with a set piece. They've done very well on set pieces, specifically corners. But this is certainly in the area. Calvillo, Gabi Torres. Left foot or right foot? Torres swings one around. That's touched in and over the bar. Beautifully worked. Ortiz was there. That's what they wanted. But not on frame. Beautifully done. Right off the training ground. Along the ground, catches Indy 11 totally by surprise, but rolls off the top of the foot of the veteran, Palermo Ortiz. Locomotive maintaining that 1-0 lead, but not through lack of trying from Indy 11. The visitors have been close a number of times, and honestly, that miss on the pass would have been a tap into an empty net had they connected, but it remains 1-0 to the hosts. Ortiz. On the run. Cabrera. Long cross. Top of the slot and another score. Beautifully worked, and it's Calvillo. Eric Calvillo takes a beautiful feed from Cabrera, and it's 2-0 Locomotive. Is grateful for the feed, and Sulte a bit screened off. Looked like Pat Hogan was in front of that. And Calvillo celebrates with a little dance for the home crowd. The longest tenured Loco played in his 100th match with El Paso the last time they were at home versus New Mexico. 108 across all competitions, and it is Calvillo with his first of the season getting Locomotive on the board again. In the 32nd minute, 2-0 to the hosts. And an absolutely beautiful feed from Andy Cabrera. His dad, of course, speaking midweek about the desire for his son always to do more. And he said, you know, if my son is going to come and play for me, he knows what my expectations are. He's admittedly tough on Andy Cabrera. There's a long cross that gets over the head of Acque barely. But Ortiz with it. Glanced around, Locomotive trying to keep it off the byline, and they will get a throw. The deep throw here for Josh O'Brien. But among other things, one of the things that Wilmer Cabrera wanted to see out of his son was assists. First assist of the year for Andy Cabrera as the header gets where Indy 11 wants it to go, but Elvis Amo not really able to put any force behind that header and straight into the waiting arms of Jamali Waite. 21 first half goals for Locomotive this season. And they got their 6th earlier in the 12th minute. Or rather the 13th minute is again Locomotive over the top of the right wing. That is a hard takedown. And the foul whistled, James Musa, as he gets a piece of Gabi Torres. Rather, Palermo Ortiz. Ortiz has taken some abuse tonight. Sometimes being in a position where he knew it was coming. Taking the charge, as it were. And there, of course, trying to jump into the play, but might be a professional foul from James Musa, who knows what the veteran is capable of when it comes to passing the ball. Locomotive Ruiz, DeRoma, Calvillo. Calvillo, that is just a mugging from behind. Beto Avila with a not-so-friendly shove from Malik Foster. Whistled for the foul as Calvillo on the ball, and things are getting chippy. And it'll be Foster whistled for the yellow card. That was reckless, honestly. Understood professional fouls are one thing, but needless, and it gives Locomotive a free kick in a pretty dangerous spot. We've talked about this a number of times before. You get the wrong touch, whether it's you or the other team, playing defense on a kick from the corner, angled from the box, and it's almost like a scratch shot in pool. Locomotive again, pretty solid on set pieces this year. Again, it is Torres and Calvillo. The left foot of Torres sending it in the last time. We see an in-swinger from Calvillo this time. It'll be Torres. Out-swinging ball, but cleared immediately. Good work to stand on top of that, O'Brien. Locomotive's going to get a piece. Great work, Palermo. Shoveled down at the edge of the box. It will be a free kick. Moreno taken down. That is just outside the 18. Actually marked maybe a little further back. It was Malik Foster again. It's been a frustrating evening for the men in red. Gets a foot in there. That's actually pretty well sighted by our referee, Greg Dopka, judging from the replay, but it will be a direct kick from just outside the 18-yard box. And Calvillo, along with Torres standing over this. Calvillo launches one over the bar. We've seen him hit a couple over the course of his career, but no brace this time as we hit the 39th minute here in El Paso, Texas. Locomotive. In what is becoming a one-sided match, Indy 11 had done well, I think, in the middle stages of this first half. And on the ball, here they come again. That's good defensive cover by Memo Diaz. Former UNLV player, Gadsden, New Mexico Player of the Year for the Gadsden Panthers, native of Anthony, New Mexico. All-time leader in appearances for Oakland Roots, where he went after leaving Locomotive. Started his championship career here in his hometown or hometown area. There's Blake, nicely done. Jack Blake, Johnny on the spot. The long relaunch by Waite over the top. And a throw. The USL on the CBS Sports Network continues May 28th, a Western Conference doubleheader. San Antonio FC taking on FC Tulsa. That is 6 p.m. Mountain, followed by Vegas Lights, Las Vegas Lights FC, and Rising FC. Phoenix Rising, that is at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network May 28th. Musa rolls it into the middle. Here's Amo. Amo, solid ball handling skills. Getting it back to Hogan and Musa. Aiden Stanley. Here's Blake ready to cover. Over the top. Nobody in red anywhere near it. Into the 41st minute. Locomotive with a commanding 2-0 lead. And there you see, Team of the Week. Of course, Wilmer Cabrera, Coach of the Week in Week 9, along with Player of the Week. as you would imagine, Indy Cabrera. 2 in the Week 9 Team of the Week, and Noah Dolenmeyer this last week for Locomotive's efforts, especially versus FC Tulsa. Did such a great job on the wing. You don't think a 6'6" player would be a natural winger, but Dolenmeyer shows some ball skills and some speed. Jamali Waite, Amanda Moreno, and others might be lost for some Gold Cup duty as he plays for the Dominican Republic. A man who came to Locomotive from LAFC on loan, but saw his opportunities here in El Paso to get a lot more playing time, and not in the starting 11 tonight, but has been an integral part and a great depth piece for Locomotive FC throughout the season. One of the things Wilmer Cabrera appreciates is that Locomotive has done very well when each player has gotten an opportunity to play. There's the speedy Malik Foster. He's going to run this down, but that's going to be a foul. The push from behind on Reese will give Indy the free kick. The Englishman Sean McCauley looking for answers. Ricky Reese didn't look like there was a whole lot in that challenge, but he does pick up a yellow, maybe for something he said after. You're in the 43rd minute. First Locomotive player to go into the book tonight. And perhaps something for Cabrera to keep an eye on. That is a long kick. Wait. Deflects it off the fingertips and almost bounced to Jack Blake, but Locomotive survives that one nicely. And here is Amanda Moreno trying to roll a pass up. That's going to come to Beto Avila. And Locomotive continues all the way down, finally. And pleading with his team for a little help. Rolled out for a throw for Benofemu. Again, Locomotive taking advantage. The shot tipped away. Sulti with a critical save, and Andy Cabrera. The ball rolled right to him. Splits the difference. But Locomotive did get a deflection off of Cabrera's shot. It'll be their first corner of the match. We're hearing just 1 minute of added time here near the end of the first half. This is Eric Calvillo. Himself a former El Salvador international. Calvillo in swinging ball, knotted out. Reese will let this go for a throw. Locomotive will take their time. And it'll be Melo Diaz over to take this. Avila. Diaz, that stays in play. Diaz, it'll be knocked out. Good cover by Stanley, but a Locomotive throw coming. Avila. Karate chopped out by Stanley. And there will be 1 minute of stoppage time. Trying to break out to Amo, but Locomotive has it well covered. Calvillo way out on the right wing. Fans appreciative of the effort tonight. That's Gabi Torres, and that will be a foul. Elvis Amo, the guilty party. Franklin Mountains lit up orange with the setting sun tonight on a beautiful spring evening. Gabi Torres probably not taking in the spring sights from his seat on the pitch at Southwest University Park. But after an atypically cold spring here in El Paso, it is certainly on the cusp of summertime in the Sun City. We've played the minute. I would imagine Jamali Waite on the restart. Might have the final kick of the first half. Not quite. And there it is. Halftime whistle blows. Locomotive on the board. As we take a look at both of the scores tonight. Eric Calvillo gets his first for Locomotive FC in the 32nd minute. But not before Armando Moreno gets on the board against the run of play. Beautiful lung-busting run. And is rewarded with his 13th goal. Andy Cabrera assisting Calvillo in the 32nd. 2-0 Locomotive from El Paso, Texas.
Southwest Auto Glass has been the Borderlands leader in glass repair since 1992. Reliable and proven service with a team of experts who give you the best value in the auto glass industry. When it's time to get your vehicle back on the road, or find us online at southwestautoglass.com.
On Saturday, May 17th, Paso Speedway Park salutes the brave men and women of the armed forces with Military Appreciation Night. All military personnel get in for just $5 with an ID as A-Mods, 360 non-wing sprints, pure stocks, legends, and stock cars put on a show for the ages. Gates open at 5 p.m. and the racing starts at 7:30 p.m. Join us in honoring our heroes. Tickets available at VottoSpeedwayPark.com.
With more traffic back on El Paso highways, the potential for serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com.
Heart of the Desert Pistachios. Tradition you can taste. Visit our stores in Mesilla, Las Cruces, and just north of Alamogordo, paired with our award-winning wine. Shop now at heartofthedesert.com.
Pistachios, the international language of love. From the heart of the New Mexican desert to wherever your love takes you. heartofthedesert.com. Perfect for those you love.
Welcome back. Locomotive leading 2-0 at the break. A pair of goals from Armando Moreno and Eric Calvillo, giving Locomotive a 2-0 lead at the break. As we take a look at the Western Conference standings, Locomotive, one of two matches on this Friday evening, would jump into a tie for second place. Actually, a tie for first place with Monterey Bay and San Antonio, pending what else happens the rest of this weekend. With 16 points, if they're able to hold on with this 2-0 lead, but right now in fifth in the West and in solid position. Top four, of course, get to host in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs, which is the goal. We take a look at Locomotive's upcoming schedule. May 24th on the road versus Las Vegas Lights. That is on ESPN+. 8:30 p.m. on ESPN+. New Mexico United versus Oakland Roots on the 24th as well. As we take a look at news and notes around the USL Championship, Louisville City FC falls just shy of equaling the consecutive home wins record of 13 0-0 draw against Pittsburgh, as the Riverhounds, who are the only lower division team to continue their run to the fifth round of the U.S. Open Cup, gets a critical 0-0 draw versus one of the lights of the USL Championship. 7 games set to air on the largest Spanish sports television network in the United States. Veo en tu DN. That's through July 5th. And the Wild West, yeah, it is definitely wild. 6 points separating first and 10th place in the Western Conference through week 10 of the season. Beautiful shot of downtown El Paso, the redone Plaza Hotel along with Hotel Paso del Norte. We'll be back after this.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
How does Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water keep you in the game? We always source our water directly from the natural spring to fuel every body, no matter how you like to move it. So whether you're chasing your goals or just staying active this summer, make sure to stay hydrated with Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Who wants that smoke? You want that smoke? Look, I ain't playing, I'm saying this ain't a joke. There ain't no bluffing, I'm calling you out for show. It's either all in or nothing, I go for broke. Who wants that smoke?
This week on USL All Access, Knoxville's new head coach, Ian Fuller, is off to an undefeated start in the league. He joins us to talk about all the good things going on in Knoxville. We'll also talk about a disappointing week in the Open Cup for the USL Championship, including what's wrong in Tampa Bay. It's all coming up this week on USL All Access on SiriusXM FC.
Welcome back to downtown El Paso. 2-0 at the break. Locomotive FC on top of Indy 11. And a beautiful southwestern spring evening here in downtown El Paso. Duke Keith along for the ride with you, and it has been quite a first half for Locomotive FC, getting the scoring started in just the 13th minute. That is a beautiful assist, Wilmer Cabrera to Eric Calvillo. That was in the 32nd minute, as Cabrera scores his first apple of the season. Calvillo scoring his first goal, and all he had to do was run onto it and keep it low. El Salvador International did just that and celebrates with the home crowd with his first of the season. For Locomotive FC, that is the 8th scorer of the season. Wilmer Cabrera and Moreno, along with Robert Avila, Beto Avila with as we get into Friday night. 2-0 Locomotive FC at the break.
On Saturday, May 17th, Paso Speedway Park salutes the brave men and women of the armed forces with Military Appreciation Night. All military personnel get in for just $5 with an ID as A-Mods, 360 non-wing sprints, pure stocks, legends, and stock cars put on a show for the ages. Gates open at 5 p.m. and the racing starts at 7:30 p.m. Join us in honoring our heroes. Tickets available at VotosSpeedwayPark.com.
I'm a 25-year truck driver. I've been driving for Rivas Enterprises for 6. I have 1 million miles. I'm home every weekend. The benefits and the respect that you get in this company is outstanding. If you're looking for a place to call home, call Rivas Enterprises.
He trabajado en otras compañías, pero desde que estoy trabajando para Rivas Enterprises siento que es la mejor compañía del Paso, Texas. el ambiente de trabajo, el compañerismo, los beneficios. Es un trabajo muy bonito aquí en Eribes Enterprises.
With more traffic back on El Paso highways, the potential for serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park, a beautiful sunset in the Sun City. On a gorgeous spring evening in downtown El Paso, Locomotive FC 2-0 over Indy 11. The game has been just as gorgeous as that sunset for Locomotive FC as we take a look at the first half stats. And, of course, the one that matters always at the top, 2-0 at the break. 7 shots to Indy 11's 3, 3-1 shots on target. And the possession is about what you'd expect. Indy 11 doesn't have a problem going against the run of play, but Locomotive has done such a good job covering defensively for most of the first half. Indy 11 does have one more corner than Locomotive FC. Each team with an offside flag and 2 yellow cards for Indy 11. Blake and Foster going into the book about 8 minutes apart. 29th and 37th minute, Locomotive's Ricky Reese in the book for El Paso. 2-0 at the break, Locomotive FC at the half.
With more traffic back on El Paso highways, the potential for serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com.
On Saturday, May 17th, Paso Speedway Park salutes the brave men and women of the armed forces with Military Appreciation Night. All military personnel get in for just $5 with an ID as A-Mods, 360 non-wing sprints, pure stocks, legends, and stock cars put on a show for the ages. Gates open at 5 p.m. and the racing starts at 7:30 p.m. Join us in honoring our heroes. Tickets available at VotosSpeedwayPark.com.
Heart of the Desert Pistachios. Tradition you can taste. Visit our stores in Mesilla, Las Cruces, and just north of Alamogordo, paired with our award-winning wine. Shop now at heartofthedesert.com.
Pistachios, the international language of love. From the heart of the New Mexican desert to wherever your love takes you. Heartofthedesert.com. Perfect for those you love.
Welcome back. Beautiful look at downtown El Paso and the Franklin Mountains behind us, steering up from the south to the north. Here in downtown El Paso, 2-0 at the break. As we take a look at our first half highlights. Beto Avila weaving his way through for a shot that sailed over the bar. Early opportunity, but Locomotive would keep things up. Another gorgeous cross, the header wide that time from Moreno. But they, against the run of play, Locomotive has done such a fine job keeping hold of the ball. But on a missed opportunity for Indy 11, that man, Amando Moreno, scores his 4th of the season. Long cross just wide, Elvis Amo. That was inches away from being 1-1. Locomotive almost made it 2-0 there from Palermo Ortiz, but here is Cabrera all the way over to Eric Calvillo. Touches that one home. It is 2-0 Locomotive with Calvillo and his first of the season in the 32nd minute. Moreno scoring his in the 13th as we get ready for our second half of play. So Indy 11 held off the board. They have scored 7 first half goals this season coming into tonight, but Locomotive's defense has done the job so far. Can they keep the defensive pressure up? Can they keep the ball pressure up? Locomotive again with about 65% of the ball in the first half. As there we see Greg Dopka, our center referee, ready to go for half number 2. Again, 2 Indy 11 players in the book. Jack Blake in the 29th, Malik Foster in the 37th, and Ricky Ruiz for El Paso in the 42nd. This is a veteran team. You know that they can come up with answers. As Indy 11 with the second half substitute Romario Williams on for Indy 11. He replaces Elvis Amo. Collier in for Ofemu. And Bruno Rendon replaces Josh O'Brien. So 3 substitutions for Sean McCauley, looking to get a response from his Indy 11 team. We talked about those stalwart USL Championship names. Of course, Romario Williams also won an MLS Cup with Atlanta United, notably. As part of that roster in 2018. Which that's a hard foul. Aiden Stanley over the back of Andy Cabrera. Might be a how do you do for Indy 11, which certainly has the physicality, but has not been able to assert it. Into the second half here in El Paso, Texas. Ortiz with the restart. Into the middle of the pitch, and that's a foul. Gabi Torres taking down the Brazilian. Notably, won a championship with Phoenix Rising, the native of Salvador, Brazil, season, but has been a setup man more often than not. That's going to be a yellow card. Another quick yellow, this one on Pat Hogan, with an ugly takedown on Gabi Torres. And I think the word came in from the coach, do not let them loose. Sean McCauley, no stranger to the physical style of soccer, not only with Manchester United, Sheffield Wednesday, notably, as there we see Wilmer Cabrera. Locomotive will get the word from Greg Dopka to bring in head trainer Cody Simmons. Of course, Cody Simmons having to bring over the water bottles. Everybody will take a drink with the stoppage in play. Works as a bit of a hydration break. Torres will have to go off here for a bit. Gives us an opportunity to tell you that Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier to the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Did you get that? us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Jeroma coming back. Diaz, that's headed across. Mateo Avila not there on the other side. It's a good thought, though. And again, that was the plan. Palermo Ortiz with a free header, but could not steer that one to anyone else in blue and gold. Again, Locomotive. Gabi Torres, who's back on the pitch, headed down by Cabrera. That's going to be another foul. Avila taken down this time by Musa. So the restart here, Eric Calvillo standing over the ball. Again, along with Torres. Pick your poison. Calvillo launches one, then that's cleared nicely by Murphy. Indy trying to counter. Up the left wing side, and it will get where they wanted it to go. Good effort, though, by Torres to get inside position. Just dribbles his way out. Pressure by Indy 11. Ricky Reese will launch it. And there you see the lanky frame of Elliot Collar, 6'5", the 30-year-old from San Diego Loyal. And there you see at the bottom of the screen, you can enter the Brinks Tires Tailgate Kit Sweepstakes. Chance to win a prize pack worth up to $3,000. Scan the QR code on the screen right there. Scan that QR code to enter today. The Brinks Tailgate Kit Sweepstakes from Brinks Tires. Enter now. A prize package worth $3,000. I don't know anything, any of the other details about it other than it's up to $3,000. So maybe we'll learn more as we go. And if you know more, you'll know more than me. $3,000 worth of prizes, though, is nothing to sneeze at. And get that QR code. Referee Greg Dopka is keeping track of the time and of Locomotive's speed in getting the ball back into play. That's hooked forward by Moreno to no one. Solti, 6'7", Hunter Solti, coming to Indy 11 from the Portland Timbers, native of Anchorage, Alaska. Locomotive has beaten him twice in the first half. Here's Malik Foster in the middle. Mario Williams back to Foster. That's a good ball, but well seen. Locomotive trying to stick with it. Good cover by Palermo Ortiz to Torres, and he gets a piece of Jack Blake and earns a free kick, does Blake. As the Englishman gets taken down, as we pointed out, former member of San Diego Loyal, where he came to Indy 11 from. At one point in his career, Jack Blake would probably be the one taking these free kicks, and they may still play it back to him. He's in the middle of the pitch. About 35 yards off the byline. Jamali Waite will set his wall. And again, from that angle, any touch can be dangerous. Aiden Quinn back there, along with James Murphy, another former Detroit City FC man. It'll be Murphy, played over the top, headed back in, scramble for the ball, hooked and wide. Pat Hogan did well to get a piece. The flag went up as well. It's actually a goal kick. Hogan falling down, did get a touch, but well over the ball. Well over the bar, rather. Former Riverhounds man, native of Matthews, Carolina, North Carolina. $185 USL Championship saves for Jamali Waite, who is zeroing in on Logan Ketterer's Locomotive team record. Ketterer back in the championship after a few years with Montreal, after leaving the Locomotive organization. With Lexington SC, he and Jamali Waite up for Save of the Week. That bounces kindly for DeRoma. Gets a touch to that, but Solti off his line. That was dangerous, but DeRoma never really able to control. He and Moreno closing in, not able to beat Solti. It's nicely hooked, but Locomotive getting Eric Calvillo into the act. That's going to be a foul. And well into the 55th minute, Locomotive biding their time, it seems. Indy 11 trying to find a way through. That stays in play. Well done by Foster, but gets loose of him. Ruiz back into the middle, nodded forward. That's chested back by Ortiz to a waiting Jamali Waite. With the dangerous feet of Romario Williams nearby. Williams, the Jamaican. Out of play for the throw. Indy 11, a dubious statistic. They've now allowed 15 goals. That is the most goals allowed for any team in the Eastern Conference. It's a good touch, but it's going to roll out for a corner kick, and James Murphy trying to get things sorted communicationally with Hunter Sulte. I may have just made up a word. Either way, it results in a Locomotive corner, their second of the match. 11 goals from corner kick situations, either primary or secondary actions for Locomotive this season, and Eric Calvillo will be the man to take it. On the scoreboard in the 32nd minute with his first goal of the season. Plays it short. Little give and go with Memo Diaz now up top for Cabrera, who will have a go. That's deflected. It's a good cover by Foster. Locomotive with the ball. Turning and firing. Diaz couldn't get that square. Here's Torres. Calvillo spots an opening, but nobody in blue on it. Good cover, good clear by Musa. And it'll roll into touch as they play it long up the wing. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. Eighth notch, keeping the chance going. They're in section 105, in behind Jamali Waite's net. Locomotive fans largely happy on a Friday night, but not a lot going on so far in this second half. 3 substitutions for Sean McCauley's Indy 11 to start the second, but no offensive traction as of yet. We'll play that one long. Avila goes down Blake in a challenge. Play on, says the referee. That's taken. Rendon, his first actions. Chipped wide, Collier. Not on target, Reese, an easy clear. Better job on Moreno defensively. Over the top, that's Pat Hogan on him. Locomotive trying to find a bounce. That will be a foul. Just over the midfield line is Avila. Fouled by Hogan, who introduces himself. Such a big back line, 6'4", 6'5". DeRoma misses on the pass. Gabi Torres and DeRoma both a little frustrated. I think they saw some open space ahead if they'd been able to connect. But into the 60th minute, Locomotive in solid shape. Akwe. Williams has that one taken away by Calvillo. Locomotive on the counter. Avila. The Austin native. Diaz, the Roma. Locomotive in no hurry. And do not need to be. Taking a little of the air out of the ball. That's a foul. Aiden Quinn. Over the back of Andy Cabrera. Seven goals ties him. With four others. In the Golden Boot race in the USL Championship. Cal Jennings, Abde Abukara of Loudon, and Darren Smith of Detroit City. Jennings of Charleston Battery. Against the Renats, great chip by Palermo Ortiz. Took it right off the feet of Elliot Collier. The big New Zealander trying to make a move. Gold Cup possibilities, of course. CONCACAF's Gold Cup competition coming up this summer. And there are 5 Locomotive players who might be waiting for call-ups to their national team. Of course, Honduras, Daniel Carter. Jamali Wade it's almost a sure thing. He's the backup to Andre Blake. But Noah Dolenmeyer, of course, for the Dominican Republic. We pointed that out earlier. Calvillo, Palermo Ortiz, and Blake. Cannot believe that was off target. That's so well worked. And the Englishman frustrated. Golden opportunity, really got that started. Up to Romario Williams. Chipped back in. Romario Williams, right place, right time. I want to see Blake's footing as this bounces back. Let's see if he's in. It's not quite in the frame, but well wide of the goal and a goal kick. But here's Indy 11. Pressure yields another ball. Collier throws that one in. That's knocked out. Ruiz is just a touch behind Foster. But Indy 11 threatening. Collier putting pressure on. Helps him win the ball back. Stanley. Into the middle for Quinn. Chopped down Akwe. Good cover on Romario Williams. Cleared out Palermo Ortiz. Up and over everyone's head. Who's got the gas to get there? Musa will push it into touch as Andy Cabrera provided the pressure. Into the 64th minute. How much longer does Wilmer Cabrera go before making changes here for Locomotive? There are a number of players along the touchline in behind those signboards, but Sean McCauley has to like the response, although, again, Indy 11 just missing that last touch. Indy 11's touch line is active. You see Tony Alfaro, Brian Romero down there. I'm not completely sure. Oh, they're tending to Jamali Waite. Second call for Cody Simmons to head onto the pitch and wait after that last action getting stretched out. As Greg Dobka comes over for a word. Ramping up a bit. It is a little warm. But we have yet to see the summer heat really arrive in the Sun City. Also into the book for Locomotive is Memo Diaz here in the 66th minute, and I don't know if it's a delay of game. Diaz unhappy, but into the book he goes. As it appears, Locomotive is perfectly content to start taking the air out of this. Here's Akwe. Musa gets ahead to that. Touched ahead by Murphy. Ortiz clears the danger. Again, Musa under pressure. Avila. Good cover by Blake. With the turnover and now rolled into touch off Cabrera. Locomotive, you have to think, will be making changes soon as Indy 11 trying to grow into the game. Locomotive has done their best to let the air out of the tires a bit. But under some pressure, here's Reese. Nicely driven ball forward. And Avila does well to touch that one down. Avila double teamed. Trying to go wide. Musa gets position. Floated back into the middle. Blake trying to get there. Akwe, nice shovel. Over the top to Torres, well done. DeRoma. Scooped that one up and over the head of Jack Blake. Some ball skills for Wahab Akwe. I think both teams happy, Switchbacks and Locomotive, with the switch they made last season that brought Akwe back to his old head coach at RGV, Wilmer Cabrera. Of course, Justin Dillon. Certainly done well with a change of scenery. Good challenge. Jamali Waite's going to keep that rolling. Frank DeRoma. That's awkward. Off of Stanley for a Locomotive throw. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC Channel 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. That includes USL All Access, which if you're a USL fan, that is must watch on YouTube or must listen if you're on Sirius XM. With Mike Watts and Devin Kerr, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC Channel 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Ortiz. To the right wing, Diaz earns a throw. Off of Collier. Into the 70th minute here in El Paso. The former FC Juarez Bravos man, Palermo Ortiz, wearing the captain's armband tonight for Locomotive, has made some key interventions. And almost nabbed himself a goal. Beautiful cross, but it slid off the top of his foot wide. Locomotive throw here. El Paso definitely content to let the minutes tick. Not much to watch if you're a fan, but Locomotive fans would certainly appreciate that 2-0 lead standing up. DeRoma. Knock back and forth to Reese. Over the top, Palermo scoops one too far for Memo Diaz. You can see the thought. Memo Diaz really hasn't had an opportunity to be the force he is in the wing tonight, but has definitely put in the shift as we are into the 71st minute here. Malik Foster. Foster, the long switch. It's off target, but Williams tracks it down. Good keep here by the big Jamaican. Coming back from Usa. Foster, the step over into the area. Malik Foster rolls it off the post. Collier stopped by Jamali Waite. What a save. The big New Zealander sees the ball bounce right to him. But the cover provided by the Jamaican international. Foster beats Waite, but not the post. Jamali Waite keeps that, but that is wide on the return and a goal kick coming. And Waite with the goal kick. Certainly, Indy 11 has really tried to climb back into this, but missing that last touch, off target. And you don't know what it is with this many great veterans, USL Championship veterans, guys who've won championships. MVPs, all league teams. The CVs are rich and long for this Indy 11 team. But so far, nothing has gone right for the visitors tonight. We're hearing Robert Coronado about to come in for Beto Avila. That is definitely a defensive sub. Coronado helping to anchor the defensive midfield for Locomotive much of the season. And Locomotive, we are hearing, will make that substitution shortly. This bunch has done a fine job midway through the 73rd minute here in El Paso. Little flick. It bounces wide. It will come to Romario Williams. And here is the substitution. Robert Coronado for Beto Avila. Here in the 74th minute. Avila, of course, notably scoring both of the goals, gets his brace in his hometown against the big club, Austin FC of Major League Soccer in the 4th round of the Open Cup. Bounces off of Foster trying to make a pass. Locomotive had that well sighted. Moreno almost was able to connect that one with Coronado, who seems to be playing up top, basically taking Avila's place. Good cover by Akwe, forcing Indy 11 to go backward. There's DeRoma winning a header with Collier lurking. Not often you're going to see that. Rendon, Cuba native, coming to Indy 11 from northern Colorado in the hailstorm. That's Palermo Ortiz, almost dangerous. Off of Williams, it'll bounce for Collier. Collier, Blake, back again. And nobody ever really controlled it. Jack Blake is very frustrated. No one able to settle that. Romario Williams offering his thanks to Jack Blake. Jack Blake is quite the competitor. Wins this ball here, gets taken down, and ball rolls out into touch, no foul. Locomotive throw. Nottingham native. Played his youth soccer for Nottingham Forest, which of course is having a tremendous season. I mean, near the end, we'll see if they can qualify for a place in Europe, but things kind of petering out for Nottingham Forest. Oh, that's a slip. Dangerous. Getting back up, it's Foster. Did well to just keep a hold of that, but in the end, it'll come to Ortiz. Just an awkward slip. On the pitch here in El Paso, Gabi Torres, Coronado, De Roma, Memo Diaz, and Ortiz all the way back to the Jamaican international. Of course, Andre Blake, as you would expect, very much the starter for the Reggae Boys, but when called upon, Jamali Waite has shown that the gap between those two players is not that great. Not huge. Did very well in international competition, including a big match won by the Mexican national team versus Jamaica last year, but Andre Blake going down to injury, and Jamaica doesn't lose much when they put El Paso's number 23 in the back. Up top, Moreno, just wide. Closest Locomotive has come in this second half, but still in hand. You can kind of see that one. Hook off his right foot. Armando Moreno looking for the brace. Indy 11. Say from about the 50th to the 60th minute, looked very, very dangerous, but that danger has dissipated as the half has worn on. You give some credit to Locomotive, which has done very well in its defensive cover tonight. That was just a missed pass, my goodness. Cabrera from Romario Williams. That's a foul and a takedown. As they will call the grounds crew on to take a look. While Andy Cabrera takes a rest after the stop. The grounds crew getting a quick round of applause from the fans here tonight. Got that done before Cabrera regains his feet. Well done. eFootball is here. Live your dream and rep your team. Play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play. Download now. Reese. Chips it out wide. Locomotive trying to get that. It'll come for Indy 11. Switch to the other side. Rendon. Some ball handling skills. Beto Avila challenges. Avila and Calvillo do well. Avila trying to... Oh, wow, what a play, Beto Avila. Strike that. Gabi Torres. Apologies to Torres, though. That ball handling, the Brazilian. Showing the skills and finally gets taken down. Rendon with the complaint to center referee Greg Dopka, but clearly a hold. And Gabi Torres. Some great ball handling to win that back for El Paso. Keep it, advance it, and win the free kick. Here's Foster. It's well covered by DeRoma, and that's going to be a free kick. That's behind the play. It's actually Blake who got fouled. The ball is way up. And that's, I think, why the fans are booing. That was well behind the play, but Blake taken down. The grounds crew getting a sarcastic round of applause. But a dangerous free kick coming for Indy 11. And again, grounds crew getting it done before the play resumes. This will be Aiden Quinn, former Rising FC star. Championship pedigree and a long USL career. Will go straight for goal and put it over the bar. Jamali Waite hangs on the rim a bit. Locomotive has that one taken away as we take a look to the moon indeed. Former Locomotive FC star Diego Luna really has been something for Real Salt Lake of MLS this season. You don't want to say it's his breakout season. He's done well since he made the move to Real from El Paso a few seasons ago. 7 goals. As Locomotive comes up here. In it rolls. DeRoma puts it in the back of the net. Frank DeRoma nails it shut for the hosts. Celebration in the green seats. Green means go, and Locomotive has certainly done that tonight. 3-0. DeRoma. As again, Andy Cabrera. His dad wanted assists from him this season. He has 2 tonight. Frank DeRoma with his first of the season in El Paso. Looks certain to win all 3 points here tonight. Frank DeRoma, his first goal with the club. The Sierra Leone footballer scoring his first goal in the championship. Did score 1 in 2 seasons with Tacoma Defiance, but it is his first championship goal. And what a time to get it, as El Paso firmly leads this one 3-0, and Jack Blake, a frustrating evening comes to an end. Edward Kissick coming on, the former Riverhounds man, who comes in for Malik Foster. And Cam Lindley, another former Switchbacks FC man, coming in to replace Jack Blake. I think Sean McCauley recognizing the frustration his fellow Englishman was having on the pitch, and certainly just trying to see things out tonight. 85th minute, Locomotive 3-0. Well, we were talking about Diego Luna before Locomotive got that through the smoke. That'll be a foul won by Indy 11. And a free kick through the fog coming for the visitors. Not a lot of wind, which is certainly a change from the last few days here in El Paso, Texas. I think we'd like some of that breeze tonight to clear out the smoke, but they will play on. Here's Lindley. In swinging ball to the far post, that's knotted down and knotted in. Edward Kizza First action of the night. And in roughly his first 2 minutes on the pitch, puts it through to make it 3-1. Well worked and in the fog. Indy 11 puts one through. Lindley's first touch. Nodded back in. And Indy 11 gets on the board. So the clean sheet is gone for Jamali Waite. I know Locomotive would love to get the Jamaican international keeper his second of the season, but Locomotive has virtually put this out of touch. And it will be Frank Lopez in for Amando Moreno. Another native of Cuba coming over from the Miami FC, their leading scorer last year with 7 goals. Amando Moreno urged to walk a little faster. But Lopez kind of working his way back into health and playing shape. Seeing a few minutes here at the end of this one. Here's Ortiz weaving. Won by Indy 11. Well, it's not quite over yet. Here's Romario Williams. Back Lindley. Williams back coming up. Here's Rendon. Over the top. That'll be lifted out and off the head of Coronado. It'll be a corner kick for Indy 11. First corner in a while. And it will be Lindley. Indiana native out of Carmel. Outswinging ball to the far post, knotted down, straight to Waite. Rendon was there. But Jamali Waite sees that one, though the smoke is still clearing. Ruiz over the top. In behind, it's Lopez. Lopez 1 against 2, looking for some help. Great hold-up play by the Cuban. Out it comes. Gabi Torres. Torres back in and pushed out by Musa. I don't know, Locomotive is disappointed not to keep the clean sheet, but when you score 3 in front of the home crowd, earn another championship win. Locomotive is 2 minutes plus stoppage time away from doing. It is not bad. Long cross by Torres, finding no one in blue. Well, we were talking about Diego Luna, already 7 goals this season. That is 1 fewer than he had all of last year. And he has made some spectacular individual efforts for Real Salt Lake this season. Might a move to Europe be in the offing? FOTMob, which is a great app, by the way, just downloaded on the advice of Andrew Forrest. Recommended if you're a soccer fan. They'll have player ratings on this match and just about everything from League One up. FOTMob rates him as the most valuable American player in MLS. Possible $8 million transfer fee, which will also involve Locomotive FC. That sell-on fee, that's well covered by Indy. Great job, Williams, trying to make some moves. Sees a triple team. Williams still with the ball. Solid work by the big man. Gets it out, the long cross in by Quinn. Knotted out and goal kick or corner kick. They belatedly ruled it a corner. The assistant referee kind of waiting for the perspective of center ref Greg Topka. That's Ben Davis. And here again is Cam Lindley. Long in-swinging ball that is too far. We're hearing 4 minutes of stoppage time as Musa rolls that one into touch for Locomotive. Pressure here from Indy 11. I'm sure the press will be forthcoming. Locomotive a throw from deep in their own side. On their own half. That's a foul. Gabi Torres. Willing to take the knocks. It has been physical tonight. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. And .21 fouls on Indy 11 as Palermo Ortiz wasn't a foul, but injured after that action. Team captain seems to be all right. Here's the restart from Waite. Four minutes of stoppage time, and we're almost halfway through it. Here's DeRoma. Not often Frank DeRoma gets to front the goal. He's more like that. Look at this. DeRoma rolls it into space. Here's Lopez, and the offside flag goes up. Lopez is upset, but Frank DeRoma doing what he does. Very rarely gets to front the net, but scores his first tonight to make this a 3, at the time, 3-0. Indy 11 does get on the board. The Locomotive now halfway through stoppage time. Looking for its 4th win. Indy 11. No quit in the visitors tonight. Long throw here. Ortiz with the head. Cabrera is going to put in the full 90 apparently. Rolls that one up. That is an awkward challenge. Lopez in, but we play on. Indy 11 knocked over. Romario Williams chested down. Oh, what a stop by Jamali Waite. Beautifully done by Romario Williams. Jamali Waite, though, up to the challenge in so many ways. Oh, Jamali Waite with 2 huge saves tonight. Maybe none more impressive than that one. What effort. That's actually Kizza over the top, 19, not 9. But Kizza did so well to get loose. Crossing. Kizza again, scooped in off the top of the bar. That was actually Williams there. But Jamali Waite has been under pressure. It will be a goal kick. Locomotive seconds away. Not for lack of trying, Indy 11. Waite puts it back into play. We've played the 94. One last gasp, perhaps, for the visitors. We play on the ground. Has gotten that. Coronado earns the foul. And that is it. Locomotive improves to 4-2-4. A 3-1 win as Indy 11 falls to 1-3-4. Still looking for that first win since March. Frank DeRoma with the 3rd for El Paso tonight and his first in the USL Championship. His 2nd ever professional goal. Armando Moreno. Nice bit of sportsmanship from Sean McCauley. You know, these players and coaches all cross paths with each other over the years.
Serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com.
I'm a 25-year truck driver. I've been driving for Rivas Enterprises for 6. I have 1 million miles. I'm home every weekend. The benefits and the respect that you get in this company is outstanding. If you're looking for a place to call home, call Rivas Enterprises.
He trabajado en otras compañías, pero desde que estoy trabajando para Rivas Enterprises siento que es la mejor compañía del Paso, Texas. El ambiente de trabajo, el compañerismo, los beneficios. Es un trabajo muy bonito aquí en Rivas Enterprises.
Welcome back, Southwest University Park. The place a happy 8th notch. They're in section 105. The smoke isn't moving around too much, but Locomotive sure did. 3-1. Locomotive FC with its 4th win of the season over Indy 11. Locomotive's goal-scoring form continues tonight as we take a look at the final stats. Indy 11 out shooting El Paso 13-10. A lot of that coming with a great second-half effort for Charlie's squad. 8 goal from Kizza is the only one for Indy 11 tonight. Possession 58% to 42%. Locomotive, again, Indy 11, much of the possession in the second half. 5 corners, 1 for the visitors today. 3 offside flags for Locomotive, and yellow cards virtually even, but the one on top is the one that counts. 3-1 Locomotive with the victory. The midfield mastery between Gabi Torres and Frank DeRoma, and we saw it on display big time. 2 goals for Gabi Torres, 2 assists for Frank DeRoma, 4 assists for Torres, who leads the team. 9 chances created as Locomotive salutes the crowd, and 46 duels won for the Brazilian, the Sierra Leone native Frank DeRoma, with 39 duels won and 13 tackles. When he is on the ball, either of them on the ball, they are wizards. As Frank DeRoma getting the congratulations of his teammates. Your physical therapy balance and hand centers play of the match, though, belongs to Ricky Reese. Great tackle in the box, actually sliding clearance on Collier. Ricky Reese keeps a dangerous cross out of trouble for Locomotive FC, and that was during that big second half push. The big New Zealander stopped by Ricky Reese, and your GECU save of the match, as you might expect, is this one. Collier did so well to chest it down and get control, but Jamali waiting for it. So well done, and Wait with another incredible save. Save of the week last week, and maybe another one coming this week. Let's go down to the pitch with our estrella of the match, Palermo Ortiz. Over Indy 11. Three goal scorers tonight for the home team. Amando Moreno with his 4th of the season in the 13th. And a pair of first-timers, Eric Calvillo in the 32nd and Frank DeRoma in the 82nd. One for Edwards in the 85th. Duke Keith. Locomotive FC. On the road next week. Take a check of ESPN+. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.